Here we are given two systems of equations, and we're asked to draw the augmented matrix that represents each of the systems. Now, we want to make sure the x's are lined up, and the y's are lined up, and the z columns are lined up, the equal signs are lined up, and the digit, the constant number. So let's do that in the first example. The x column has an x, plus the y column has plus 3y, plus the z column has nothing. Then the equal sign comes down, and then the constant number. Okay, second row. There is no x, but there is a y, a positive y in the y column. Then there's a negative 4z in the z column. Bring down the equal sign, bring down the constant. And the last equation in the system has a negative 2x, and then no y, but then it has a positive 5z in the z column, and then an equal sign and the 7. That is our system of equations where everything is lined up, and that would imply the following augmented matrix. The coefficients are only going to be listed. First, in the first column are the coefficients of the x's, so this is 1. In the second column, the coefficient of the y, positive 3, and then a 0 for the coefficient of the z in the first equation. The equal sign, don't write anything, just leave a little space. Then the constant number on the other side of the equal sign is a 5. Now for the next equation, there's a 0 in the x column because there's no x coordinate in the second equation. There's a 1 in the y column because it's 1 times y. And there's a negative 4 in the z column. Leave a space where the equal sign is, and then the constant number 8. And finally, on the last equation in the system, there's a negative 2 for the x-coordinate, that's the coefficient. There's a 0 for the y-coordinate because it's missing. A positive 5, don't put a plus, just put the 5. That's the coefficient of the z. The equal sign would be next, and then the constant. Now, where the equal sign was going to be, a lot of times you'll see just a dotted line going down reminding you that there was an equal sign in that column. And then I'll go ahead and put my matrix parentheses around it and box it. All right, so this is the augmented matrix. It represents the given system of equations. Now, and for part B, let's get that guy lined up. We have three variables in part B, so let's line them all up. We have, let's see, the x, and then the minus y, and then there's nothing in the z column, and then the equal sign, and then the 6. Now sometimes you have to move things around. You have to move things to the other side of the equal sign to get it all lined up. In this case, it's actually not that difficult. The x, nothing for the y, and then a positive z in the z column equals the equal sign, and then the constant 7. That is our system written in very careful columns, and that implies the following augmented matrix. The coefficient 1 for the x column, then negative 1, and then 0, and then space for the equal sign, and 6. The next one is a positive 1 for the x column, a 0 for the y, a positive 1 for the z column, a space for the equal sign, and a 7. A dotted line representing the location of the equal sign, and we'll put the matrix, parentheses around it, and box our augmented matrix. And we are finished.